So you want to be a Reckoner? Welcome! It is the final stretches of Season of Arrivals before Beyond Light releases, and today, we're here to help you through the Reckoner grind. I'm here to help you not bang your head against a wall trying to unlock this seal that now 6% of the community owns thanks to Destiny content vaulting. Before the announcement of it, we used to sit at a 2% minority, but the community has now been starting to grind out all these little tiny things, and I'm here to help as much as I can. Let's start from the beginning. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I'm going to assume if you're starting your grind into Reckoner, you already have Reckoning unlocked and have a Moat Synth. But just in case, make sure you complete Drifter's quest line that unlocked the Moat Synthesizer and upgrade it to Tier 3 Synth to unlock Tier 3 Reckoning. Your next step is unlocking every piece of Notorious armor for your class. Running Tier 3 Reckoning and playing Gambit Prime will become your life for the next while as you hope the RNG gods give you the armor you need. Thankfully, Notorious helmets are no longer locked behind long weekly quests, so you can get those to drop just like all the other pieces of armor. I'll drop some tips here to help you get through these faster. First off, you need synths to be able to make moats for each different armor set. Creating a Tier 3 moat will take 3 synths, and to get these you'll have to start grinding out Gambit Prime. You can get at most 2 moats per Gambit Prime run. Your first moat is tied to how you play throughout the match, and I will list here how to get those specifically. The other way you'll get synths is at the end of every Gambit Prime match you will acquire 1 random synth. As you can tell, if you haven't already been playing a ton of Gambit Prime, you will need to play a bunch more to grind out the synths you're going to need to get your armor. Now let's talk about some weapons, armor, and class-specific advice for Reckoning itself. For weapons, I advise Trinity Ghoul, Thunderlord, Falling Guillotine, the Mountaintop, Wither Horde, Gnawing Hunger, Xenophage, or the Wardcliff Coil. For a Warlock, I advise Well of Radiance with Phoenix Protocol, Bottom Tree Void with Nezarec Sin, or Top Tree Void with Skull of Dharamkara. For Hunter, I advise Top Tree Tether with Orpheus Rig, or Arc Staff with Radiant Flux. For Titans, Top Tree Sentinel with Helm of Satan 14 is pretty much the way to go. To make this grind easier for you, I highly advise grinding on a day when it's an elemental burn you like matched with Heavyweight and a final encounter you enjoy. My personal favorite is Voidburn, Heavyweight, and the final boss, the Swords, because you can really just melt the knights in the final encounter with Falling Guillotine. Also, make sure to be running helpful mods for this. Taken mods are amazing, but make sure you have all your resist mods on. Minor resist, major resist, boss resist, any elemental resists, or concussive dampeners will make this a much easier experience for you. And I mean, if you're not running them already, put them on. They'll help you in all your PvE activities going forward. Now covering encounters. The first encounter is pretty simple, just being a race to kill as many enemies as possible. I find Trinity Ghoul with its Catalyst or Thunderlord to be an awesome choice for this segment since it will help you clear huge chunks of ads quickly and make this segment fly by. The second encounter is the Bridge of Nightmares. This encounter is the hardest part of Tier 3, and where you'll find your team screwing up the most due to large bosses Bungie stomping you off the bridge to your death. The time limit for this segment is also very strict, so having 1 or 2 teammates die can really cause issues to stack up fast. I highly advise a Hunter with Tether and a Warlock with Well of Radiance for this part. Also, having a Heavy to deal with the large enemies quickly before they have a chance to launch you to your doom is a great idea. Besides that, Trinity Ghoul or any ad clearing gun are great pickups as well. The third and final encounter changes week by week, having you fight either the Swords or the Likeness of Oryx. The Swords are pretty easy now with Falling Guillotine and Well of Radiance or Bubble to help melt both knights super fast. Likeness of Oryx isn't too bad either since his team wipe attack usually doesn't deal enough damage to kill the whole team anymore. This encounter just really feels like a long bullet sponge, so make sure you have some good heavies to deal with him. One final note while we're on the grind for Notorious armor is to make sure you work on the Reckoning Triumphs, which include Swift Reckoning, which is completing a Reckoning run with plenty of time left on the clock. This one is surprisingly easy, and you'll probably find yourself getting this the second or third time you finish a Reckoning run. One skip ahead, which is completing both the Swords and Likeness of Oryx encounter without dying. This will take a bit of effort, but just remember, only you need to not die. If your teammates die, you'll still get the triumph after not dying during the encounter. And finally, get wrecked. You will definitely have this after getting all 20 pieces of Notorious Armor, but just in case, make sure to get 250 precision kills, 150 powerful enemy kills, and kill 1,000 Shadow Thrall. The last thing you'll want to do before leaving Reckoning forever is to get all of the Reckoning weapons. Each final encounter has its own loot pool, which I will show on the screen now, and if you're missing a few of these, there is a chance that they will drop from end of match rewards in Gambit Prime, so if you want, you can go that way in getting them as well. Now that you have all 20 pieces of Notorious Armor, it's time for the real grind to begin. Yeah, that's right, Reckoning was the easy part. Now we're moving on to Gambit Prime, and you're going to have to play a lot of it, as all 4 of the specialty classes that we've been unlocking Notorious Armor for. Each of these classes has 2 triumphs tied to it, a Triumphant and a Call Me Blank Triumph. The Call Me Blank Triumph is an easy one. It's basically just win a match with a full set of that class's specific Notorious Armor on. The Triumphant ones are the hard ones. So let's start off with the worst of them all, Reaper. Before we start, keep in mind you need the corresponding armor glow above your head for these triumphs to actually track. So make sure you have at least a total of 10 points in your armor set. That's 4 pieces of Notorious Armor. But I would advise most of the time using 4 pieces and eating a synth while wearing an exotic piece of armor to get you to the maximum benefits. Starting off, here is a list of what we will need to accomplish for this triumph while wearing a Reaper Glow. You will need to win 20 matches, defeat 1,000 enemies, defeat 50 high value targets, kill 100 envoys or blockers, and earn 10 massacre medals. This by far is the most painful set to get through, so don't expect this to go by fast. My main advice for this set is to leave it to last, but also work on it while you're working on your other sets. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. Most of the things on this list are pretty simple and self-explanatory. Win 20 matches, defeat 1,000 enemies, and kill 100 envoys and blockers are all things that will just take time and effort to grind through. The real challenge here is with the high value targets and massacre medals. For the high value targets, or HVTs, I very much advise to work on this while working on the other armor sets. Start playing whatever other set you want, like Sentry, Invader, or Collector, and once you know the HVT will be spawning soon, switch your armor over to the Reaper armor and get ready to find it, and make sure you at least land 1 shot on the HVT before someone kills it. Landing any amount of damage will gain you progress towards your 50 kills. This is also why it's best to do this with friends or an LFG group, since you can all coordinate damage in killing the HVT together. Next is the Massacre medals. These can be a real pain, but I have some loadouts here to help you have a better chance at this. Let's start with some weapons. Out of all of these weapons listed, I personally got the best results out of Telesto. At least 4 of my massacres were with Telesto by itself. Just make sure you're stacking your armor with fusion rifle mods. The other guns listed are things to help like Wither Horde, Mountaintop, and Swords, or things I've heard other people have good success with that I just didn't have any luck with myself, like Trinity Ghoul, Thunderlord, and Xenophage. Class-wise, your supers are huge buffs that will help you get these medals as well. For Warlocks, I mostly recommend Top Tree Arc with Crown of Tempest. Your main goal here is to make sure you have full grenade and melee energy when you cast your super so it lasts as long as possible. Then make your way to a new set of adds before anyone else. You want to proc your super and start damaging the biggest, baddest enemy you see. Your lightning should slowly kill the big yellow bar while also chaining lightning to all the adds around it. Once you've killed your big bad guy, move on to the next big bad guy and continue till you see that medal pop up on your screen. The other option I found success with was Slova Bomb. Tossing it at one side of a room while running to the other with Telesto worked pretty well for me, but it was definitely not as consistent as Top Tree Arc. For hunters, your best option is to just spam bottom tree tether around and then kill as many adds as possible with your weapon of choice. Your other option is just arc staffing your way through everything with Radiant Flux to help keep the super going, but large yellow bars can be a huge issue while trying this loadout. Titans I feel have a decently harder time now due to bottom tree strikers nerf, but it's still possible. My advice is be a Titan and punch as hard as you can. Keep punching everything you see and just keep getting your super back until you see that medal pop up on your screen. Same goes for Void, just keep punching and throwing shields like your life depends on it. This medal is extremely annoying. Having to get 12 kills with only 3 seconds between each kill can be very hard and frustrating. My last bit of advice is keep your eyes on your radar. It will really help you find your next target and give you an idea of where new ads will be spawning from. Next we have Collector. Here's the list of accomplishments we'll have to do while sporting the Collector Glow. Win 10 matches, deposit 1,000 motes, summon 100 small blockers, summon 40 large blockers, and earn 15 half-banked medals. This triumph isn't crazy hard and just more of a grind than anything. The motes, small blockers, and large blockers all just take time to grind out. My biggest advice would be to make sure you're watching your enemy's score to know when an invader is going to be coming and plan your mote pickups wisely from there. If you know an invader will be coming any second, try not to have a huge amount of motes on you, or at least set up defensively like in an area you can easily sword peek and escape from. The half-banked medals require you to deposit a total of 50 motes in the bank. Keep in mind that if motes are drained from the bank, that does not affect your total. As long as you put 50 motes in the bank, you will receive a half-banked medal. I found this easiest with a group of others for the armor grind so they would let me grab all the motes, but it's still very possible while playing solo since you have the ability to pick up 20 motes at a time, and I was able to do it pretty constantly unless there was another collector on my team. Moving on to Invader, this may be harder than Reaper for people who are not too great at PvP, but I will help you as much as I can with this. The list of things you need to accomplish for this triumph are win 10 matches, 25 super kills, 25 sniper/linear fusion kills, 25 fusion/shotgun kills, 25 other kills, and drain 100 motes from the enemy bank. For each of these, I will be listing the easiest way that an average player can get these kills. Obviously, if you're a good PvP player, you'll already know what guns you like to use that will get you these kills the fastest way possible. Super kills are pretty easy and straightforward, but here are the easiest supers to net you as many kills as possible. Warlocks should use bottom tree solar. The tracking Dawnblades are the easiest ways to get 4 kills on each and every invasion. Hunters should use bottom tree solar. Yes, having more than 3 shots is nice, but the super runs out way too fast, allowing enemies to run and hide, causing you to lose out on most of your kills. It's better to guarantee 3 kills with a longer super than 1 or 2 with a short super. Titans, I would advise hammers or bottom tree void. Both of these give you a great shot at landing all 4 kills due to your super's ability to kill from long ranges while being mobile. If you're still having trouble with these supers, take it slower and run the one and done supers that will at least guarantee you 1 kill per invasion, like Nova Bomb, Blade Barrage, or Thunder Crash. For snipers and linear fusion kills, your best bet for this is Izanagi's Burden for one-shot body shots, or Sleeper Simulant for also one-shot body shots. If you don't have these 2 guns, I would highly advise getting them to help you with this, specifically if you aren't good with sniper or linear fusions, because besides these 2 guns, you're going to be stuck having to hit those headshots. For fusion and shotgun kills, your choices for these are pretty limited if you don't have the harder to get exotics, but if you do, 1000 Voices and Jotun will be the easiest way to go around this one. If not, your best fusion and shotgun and playing sneaky to get up close and personal to finish off these kills is your best bet. For other kills, this is where you get to have fun using whatever you like best. That's not a sniper, linear fusion, or shotgun. The most obvious choice here is rocket launchers and LMGs, but anything can really do. If there is something you like, go ahead and use it. What I highly recommend though is Truth, Xenophage, Leviathan's Breath, or my favorite, Symmetry. The last step you'll need to do is drain motes from your enemy's bank. To do this, you just need to have 15 points of Reaper armor to unlock the Drain Motes perk while near the bank. Easier said than done though, but each class has its own way of doing this. Warlocks have a Well of Radiance, Hunters have Middle Tree Arc to block incoming damage or going invisible with their Void subclass, and Titans have the easiest time on this by just dropping a bubble right on the bank. This will take a few tries to complete since you can only drain so many motes per invasion, but try your best. Sentry, our last and for sure easiest to complete. This triumph will acquire you to accomplish these listed things. Win 20 matches, mark 40 invaders, defeat 200 blockers, defeat 150 taken, and earn 20 locksmith medals. All of these are pretty simple and just take time. Mark 40 invaders by dealing any amount of damage to them, defeat 200 blockers, and defeat 150 taken. The only kind of challenging part of this is 20 locksmith medals, which require you to kill the last blocker to open the bank 3 times without dying. This can be a bit annoying with randoms because you have to land the final blow on the last blocker to open the bank or it won't count. All I can say is, hope the enemy team drops a ton of goblins on you, but truthfully, this really isn't that bad. I found myself getting 2 to 3 of these per match I played. Oh, you thought we were done? Oh no, there's one more grind to acquire your Reckoning Seal, and that is unlocking Thorn. I know plenty of you have probably already unlocked Thorn, and you're probably already clicked off this video by now, but just in case, let me run you through quickly on how to acquire Thorn. To start this quest, you need to head to the salt mines on the EDZ, take the teleporter in there, and find the secret camp and pick up the quest to begin. After a quick chit-chat with Banshee, the quest begins. Thankfully, this quest will give you multiple options for each step to complete it, listed on the screen currently, to help you get through it quicker. After those 3 steps, we have the bummer step for people who hate Crucible. You now need to get a ton of kills with void damage or hand cannons. Best to note, void hand cannon precision kills in survival or Iron Banner grant the best progress. My best advice for people if you are confident with a hand cannon is to put on your best void hand cannon and try to get kills in survival. Since the matchmaking is skill based, you will face people of your skill level, making getting kills easier. Bonus points for doing this while Iron Banner is active, so more of the hardcore PvP players aren't in the survival playlist. If you can't get hand cannon kills, your next best bet is using a void auto rifle like Gnawing Hunger or Hard Light with a void subclass. Keep in mind, doing it this way will take much longer, but if you can't get hand cannon kills, this is your best option. Once you have finally finished a million Crucible matches, you need to talk to Tyra Karn in the farm to unlock the final quest, a special version of the Savathûn Song Strike. I would highly advise getting a fire team for this quest, because it's more difficult than a normal strike, and there are 2 additional bosses in the final room you need to kill before the final boss. So make sure to watch out for the 2 giant knights that spawn, and make sure to kill them before finishing off the streaker. And there you have it, you're now welcome to a brand new club called Reckoner. It's kind of like when you're driving down a highway on a motorcycle and you see another motorcyclist and you wave back at him, except the motorcycle is hours of your life and the waving is immense depression. Anyways, enjoy your new seal, and feel free to hit the subscribe button if you like the video. This is the very first video I'm putting up on this channel. I've always wanted to do a Destiny channel beside my other main channel, and I finally got the big old gahunas to do it. So if you liked what I did, feel free to hit subscribe and let me know down below what other content you'd like to see me make. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next video.